My name is Melissa Lopez. I'm the Executive Director of Diocesan Migrant and Refugee Services, soon to be renamed. The first thing was to decide whether or not it even made sense to go for a name change. Undertaking a rebranding of an organization that has been in this community for nearly 40 years is not something that we did lightly. It was a very thoughtful decision made by our board of directors. This process took almost 3 years for us to get all the way through it. And we were very intentional about picking this name. We went through over 100 different name options. At the core, we remain a legal services provider that is dedicated to our community and to trying to serve as many people as we can. We remain dedicated to trying to serve people with dignity and respect. We remain dedicated to providing high quality legal services. And we remain dedicated to being that organization in the community that people can rely on when they need legal assistance. And so even though we're changing our name, we're not changing who we are. And I think that's really important for people to understand, is that we will continue to be who we are. You will see new colors in our logo and you will see a different logo. We want to be the guide. We want to be the hope that people have for a better future for themselves, for their families, for safety, because there's a lot of symbolism built into the name itself. So we wanted to connect to who we are, but also what we do and the hope that we give people. You're traveling through the desert, especially at night, and you see that big star on the mountain. It is a symbol that you've arrived to your destination. And so in that way, we want people to see us as a symbol of having arrived to their destination and having a future. We also included a star, the Star of Bethlehem, in our logo, and that was really important because it ties back to our Catholic identity and who we are as an organization and having that Catholic influence, but also thinking back to Mary and Joseph. I mean, they were refugees themselves, right? They were travelers who were looking for a place and who had door after door shut on them. And the Star of Bethlehem guided them to the stable where ultimately Jesus was born. And that is really important for us as well, for people to see that the star in so many ways over the course of history has guided us to our destination. And we want people to really catch that. You know, we have a stellar team of individuals that work here. And you know, you often hear of stars in reference to people in Hollywood, you know, people that are famous, but, you know, the people that work here are the stars of people's lives. I mean, they are the ones that make the biggest impact for our clients. And so the people that work here in so many ways are stars themselves. And so we want that also to be a symbol for people to take, that, you know, we do have a really hardworking team who is dedicated and who will do whatever we can to help them. The mountains for anybody from El Paso are super significant to who we are. You know, when I have lived other places, you know, I very much miss the mountains, and the mountains are just super symbolic to who we are as a community. Not only that, but they hold our star. So you have one set of the mountains that has the star on it, and then you have the other set of the mountains that holds Mount Cristo Rey, which also for El Pasoans is incredibly symbolic. Mount Cristo Rey has been around for generations. We wanted the logo to include both the Franklin Mountains as well as Mount Cristo Rey, because those are symbols of El Paso and of who we are. But also when you look at the logo is intended to be what El Paso looks like from the Juarez side, so from the migrants' perspective. So as people are traveling We wanted the logo to reflect what they see, their vision of El Paso, as opposed to what we see here being in El Paso already. And so it was really important to include both Mount Cristo Rey as well as the Franklin Mountains. You know, the bridge, for any of us that have grown up in El Paso, the bridge is the gateway, right? It is what stands between people in Mexico and the US. And for the migrant, that is what stands between them and a future. And so it was really important to have the bridge be part of the logo, but also the river, because in many ways the river also is what stands between the migrant and freedom in a future. They have to traverse the desert, they have to traverse the mountains, they have to traverse the port of entry, they have to traverse the river. And so we wanted all of those things to be part of the logo. The logo is really meant to symbolize El Paso and the symbols, the physical symbols of El Paso that are so important to us as El Pasoans. So you have Mount Cristo Rey, you have the mountains, you have the bridges, you have the river. We wanted to harken back to the, Paso del Norte, this idea that we've always been this gateway for people to enter the United States. So collectively, the logo represents El Paso, it represents our community. But it also is meant to really represent the hope that people can have when they see those symbols on their journey. And I hope that with this new rebranding campaign, to really launch the positivity of what El Paso brings. We want to change the national narrative on immigration. We want people to not immediately assume that migrants are bad, and that we can continue to serve this community for at least 40 more years. Hello, my name is Melissa Lopez, and I'm super excited to introduce you to our new name and our new logo.